Hi, hello, welcome back to the channel if you've been here before. If you haven't been here before, thank you for stopping by and having a look at my video. I very much appreciate the views I get, even if there's not very many. So I have a little bit of chaos in my head at the moment because there's a lot of things that I kind of want to talk about, but I'm not entirely sure how to do it. So that's all beside the point. And now we have the virus and the restricted movement implementation here in the Netherlands, where we've been told not to leave the house unless absolutely necessary, which is fair enough. And that's also the reason why my skin just stressed. But putting that aside, it is spring, which is always a very inspiring time for me. I love seeing the new leaves coming on the trees outside my house, and supposedly this weekend it's supposed to be fabulous weather. So it's sad that we can't go sit outside with our friends, but we shall make the most of it nonetheless. That being said, if you hear any like birds or weird noises, the window is open because it is quite warm here up on the 5th floor. And I'm going to be doing a spring inspired makeup, and it's not going to be what you think. So to get started, I'm going to be using some sunscreen. It's this Sunprise Natural Corrector SPF 50 from Etude House. I think it's a little old, so I need to check whether it's okay still. Yeah, it smells fine. Yeah, it smells like sunscreen, doesn't smell like chemicals, so should be good enough. And I really like this because it does have a little bit of a tint to it, like a slight pinkish tint, which is good because I have a pink undertone. And this is also because I do plan on being a little bit outside today, and I burn so fast, like so fast, that even if this is old and the SPF is a little bit lower because of that, it's gotta be better than no sunscreen at all. I will also be putting some more sunscreen on my neck area because that's also likely to burn in the process. I've done that before. Start off April with a sunburn. Now, sunscreen is part of the skincare routine, but I do think it's important to illustrate it as part of the makeup routine as well. Now, I like this one because it does, I don't know, it does a little something for my skin. I'm not entirely sure what. Maybe it just makes me whiter. I don't know. Okay, then I don't wear a lot of base makeup usually, but I have been very interested in trying this primer. It's the Angel Veil Primer by NYX. It's supposed to leave your skin looking and feeling divine. So let's, oh, clearly not mixed up nicely inside. I need to give it a shake or something. Oh, a bunch of liquid came out. Yeah. Let's see what this does for my skin. Let's have a look. It feels very soft. Why is there so much honking outside? The hell's going on out there? People being weird and making noise. Now, I do think that if you choose the right primer, it can almost be like part of your moisturizer or part of your skincare. Oh, this primer does feel very soft, and it's going to be very good for like the dry spots that turn into pimples and then just ruptured on my face and just ugh. And that is one reason why I do occasionally wear primer, and why I wanted to try this primer was because if my skin is struggling because it's dry, or a shift of seasons always messes with my skin, or if I'm stressed, my skin does tend to get extra dry. And then it's nice to have a primer to kind of smooth over the dry patches so that everything just looks a little bit better. That being said, I am going to be using my Airfit Cushion Foundation by Apio. it's dried out almost, so we're going to have to see what kind of coverage it can give, and maybe it can just do a little bit so that I don't have to wear a thick layer of concealer, or maybe it'll just help everything blend a little bit more seamlessly. I also don't like covering my skin very much because I don't know if you can tell, but I am slightly freckly. And I like being slightly freckly, so maintaining those freckles as much as possible and not covering them with foundation is something I very much enjoy. Oh, now there's a rooster nearby. So many weird noises going on outside. If you hear any of that, I am very sorry, but I can't control the weird noises coming from my neighbors, or apparently the rooster that lives in the neighborhood. Wasn't aware we had one. Alrighty, so I'm going to be doing a little bit of concealer, and I've been very much enjoying this Milk Creamy Concealer from G9 Skin in light beige. Not only because the packaging is adorable, but it's in my shade, and it's a really nice liquidy concealer, so it doesn't feel too thick on the skin. And then, as per usual, when I'm covering any spots or dry patches, I'm going to be using a rounder fluffy brush. Downside is that it does struggle a little bit to cover some of the more pigmented spots. For that, I think green concealer would probably be best, but I don't own one of those, so... Oh dear, my foot's falling asleep. Oh! Pat it in my finger a little bit. I don't know, that spot's just being difficult. Fine. We can't save them all. And then using this flat concealer brush, I am going to be going into my NYX Dark Circle Color Corrector concealer pot, and it's kind of like a more peachy tone, but it is a very light tone. But I did notice that using this over the rest of my face kind of left a bit of an orange cast, so that's why I did get the other concealer. And we're going to use just the tiniest bit of the areas that have blue. Blue, da ba dee da ba da. And I don't know if you can tell a very big difference, but I can. In just how blue my skin is on this. And it's not that I'm not getting enough sleep, because they're not necessarily dark circles. It's that I just have very, very pale skin. I have very thin skin, which means that any kind of blood vessels and areas that they are close to the surface, also around the corners of my nose. I mean, if I'm wearing short sleeves, you can actually see veins here. That's how thin my skin is. So, you know, it's not that I'm not getting enough sleep. Right, so the makeup look. Oh, I'm missing a palette, so I'll be right back. Okay, grab the palette I was missing. So, because this is going to be a slightly more like an eye look where I definitely need the pigment to be there, I'm going to be using my NYX pigment primer, which is not necessarily about actually creating pigment on the face, but it's more for loose pigment eyeshadow. But that means stuff sticks because of this. It's almost empty. And I really don't use much. Just for reference. Oh, I got a new mirror. This one doesn't have a large crack running through it. because as much as I liked my black mirror, there was a massive crack running through it, which meant that it became very, very hard to use. So I just pat this until it becomes a bit sticky. You don't want to tug too much, you don't want to like, because it's your eye skin, you have to be gentle to it. And you want it to become a little bit sticky. Okay. Now I'm going to gently powder my face. I'm going to be using the Peach Cotton Pore Sun Packed by Skin Food. And it's just to lightly set the areas of my face that need a little bit of setting, you know, the blemishes, that sort of thing, where my skin is just a bit weird. Under the eyes specifically, because I do crease, but we're not baking or anything like that because it's completely unnecessary. I'm not wearing so much makeup that I have to treat it like stage makeup, you know, because that's what baking is. I do the corners of my nose, and then just anywhere where I'm wearing a little bit more to kind of set it in place. But I want to leave most of my skin as powder free as possible. Right, so this eye look, it's going to be a bit of an interesting thing. It's kind of inspired by Brightwing, but then my preferred colors from Brightwing. If you don't know who Brightwing is a fairy dragon in Heroes of the Storm. The fairy dragon thing comes from World of Warcraft. I love Brightwing's voice lines. I love playing Brightwing. I love the colors, specifically the kind of tealy green and the purple. And I think there's also some orange and blue in there, but I'm more of the tealy green and purple. That's the inspiration I got from it. So I'm going to be using two palettes, the Mystic Petals palettes by NYX and the Matchy Matchy in Purple by NYX, or the Lilac palette. So we're going to be focusing on this color here, that kind of tealy green color, and then the lightest purple, I think, although we may end up mixing these a little bit, but we shall see what we can achieve. The important part of this is the base for my wing, which is going to be these NYX Faux Whites in Purple. I usually use this to line my inner waterline, or bottom waterline, to kind of make my eyes pop. This color is White Smoke. I also have Seashell, which is a more pinky shade. These are actually fairly accurate representations of what they could look like color-wise. So I'm going to be using this to draw my wing. And we're going to hope for the best. So before I do my wing, I'm going to start with that shimmery green, I think. I don't know what they're called, but this shimmery green. And I'm going to be taking a detail brush, so this one, and we're going to just be putting it on the inner corner. I think I've done a similar look to this before, but here we go. It turns out much darker on the skin. You see that? Fascinating. Anyway, it's much lighter in the pan. Maybe a white base wouldn't have been remiss here either. Oh well. Oh well. So I have a fun story about all the birds you can hear. We have a couple of trees in front of our balcony and birds love them. And the fun story is that I found, when I was gardening, I planted some new lavender plants because the old ones were just, they hadn't survived very well the heat wave that that we suffered through last year while I was on holiday. So kind of had to replace them, but fun part is that I found an acorn that was coming out, like an actual, like there was a little tree growing from it type of a thing. And I was like, oh, that's so cool, I'm gonna plant it and then we're gonna have a little oak tree in our garden. So I planted it, but a bird found it. I literally saw him swoop down into it, take it out, and then just peck it open. Absolutely ridiculous. I need to sharpen this. So 1 second. Back, and I have sharpened the eye pencil. And we're gonna see how well this goes. That's actually going better than I expected it to. Nice. So in case anyone's wondering why I draw my wing like this, it's because I have hooded eyes, and if I look directly into the camera and drop my eyebrows a little bit, you can see that I have like this bit of skin that hangs over, and if I draw my wing up, then it disappears. And I found that just kind of drawing it straight works for me. And then I'm going to be taking this angled brush, which has very long fibers sticking out of it. Excuse me. Oh, whatever. This angled brush, it's a little bit of a thicker angled brush to go into this very light purple here. And we're just going to pat that all over that liner to make it a little less white looking and a little bit more purple. And on the other side. And look at that beautiful lilac. Ah, makes me very happy. I am going to take this a little bit out of the eyeliner line just to kind of, I don't know, add it, bring it a little bit lower, kind of smoke it out almost. The green is very dark. Not what I was expecting. I do think I need a pop of light in the inner corners. I'm going to be grabbing a highlighter for that, and maybe I'll add a very thin black line for a little definition, but we'll see. Maybe I'll just go straight into mascara. For highlight, I'm going to be using a highlighter I don't use very often, but that is actually very, very beautiful. It's just not a shade that often works with makeup I do, I guess. Anytime I'm using a gray or like a green or a blue, this works best. And I think this will complement the green very well. This is the Too Faced Diamond highlight, I think. And this is like an icy bluish shade. Wait, no. It has a bit of an interesting color mix inside of it. And the one that stands out the most on my skin is the blue. So on a different, I think I'm just going to put it on my pinky. And we're just going to tap that into the inner corner. And along the lower lash line. Maybe I'll even tap it onto the rest of the eye with my ring finger. Alright, I'm going to take this flat detailer brush and I'm just going to pack that color into the inner corner a little bit more precisely than with my pinky finger. I will be using that highlighter on the rest of my face, but first we finish the eyes. So we're going to do the scary torture contraption. I'm doing scary things with my eyeballs. This is always the weirdest part to edit, let's be honest. This is because I have really long lashes, I really do, but they always stick out straight instead of curling up. I finally repurchased my favorite mascara so far. It's Worth the Hype by NYX. It's a waterproof mascara, which is useful because it's hay fever season, which in combination with the virus, I'm sniffly and I don't know whether it's hay fever or whether I'm going to die, you know. I'm kidding, I'm not gonna die, but you get my mean, where it's just like, am I sick or do I just have a case of the sniff? They changed the brush. No, why would you do that? It was such a nice brush. No. Oh, now I'm gonna have to find a different mascara. This is not the brush I expected. I expected a much smaller brush. This one's way too big and fluffy. I don't... Oh, they changed the brush. Now I'm annoyed. We're going to line the waterline a little bit. Waterline lining is always creepy, isn't it? Like this. Stick things into my eyeballs. Et voila! Beautiful. So that's the eyes. Yay! Oh, it actually looks really good. I'm very happy, particularly with the mascara now, how it looks. I'm gonna do my brows, and I'm gonna be using my NYX eyebrow powder pencil in taupe. It's this one. There's now someone singing outside. There's some horrible music going on outside. I'm really sorry. I'm gonna try to edit that out as much as I can. Anyway, we're going to brush through the brows. Good thing about being completely incapacitated for like 3 weeks, no, a month, is that I was able to grow out my brows and kind of fix some of the parts that were bothering me greatly. Okay, now we're going to fill in the brows. When it comes to filling in my brows, I like to go into any sparser areas and then very gently kind of stripe this front bit, and then we'll blend it. So I do like to draw like the line across the bottom, the line across the top, and then fill in the sparse tail. And this is, now I'm going to be putting on the NYX Bear With Me eyebrow gel in clear, although it's not very clear anymore. I think the powder from the pencil gets on it now. Brows done, FaceTime. So, with this look, blush. I'm going to be using the Oops Tint Cushion in this beautiful baby pink. This sugar pink, actually. It's a very interesting thing. It's a squeeze tube, and you kind of squeeze and then the color comes up out of the cushion. And then you just tap that cushion onto your face, and it's beautiful. That's such a pretty pink. I love it. I love this color, I really do. As I've said before, I'm a bit of a blush fiend. I like lots of blush. And people may call me crazy for it, and that's fine. But I just like wearing a lot of blush. Anyway, I'm going to use my finger to blend this. How many noises outside? Go away, noisy outside people. I'm going to be using the NYX HD blush in taupe, which is this color. And I'm going to be using this kind of flat-ish, fluffy brush to carve out my cheekbones and stuff. I really hope the noise outside goes away, otherwise I'm going to have to cut out all my audio. I don't know what it is that this it's terrible, terrible Dutch music. I think I'm going to go scream at people. Excuse me. It's not the entire neighborhood that needs to enjoy your music. Keep it to yourself. Dodo face. We'll see how much of this audio I can keep. Oh, now my downstairs neighbor started making banging noises. Okay, highlighter, going back into the diamond with this flatter fluffy brush. So I just closed the window and the music's even worse. It's coming from somewhere over there. Anyway, I'm going to be using the NYX Liquid Suede in Alien because it is the most comfortable lipstick. But before I do that, I'm going to put on a lip liner to kind of prevent it from bleeding or anything. So this is the NYX Suede Matte Lip in Lavender and Lace. So this is a trick for if you want to slightly overline your lip, is to take a color that's almost your own lip and then just only overline the center. So I swear if I had the speaker power to compete with this nonsense music outside. And then the liquid lip. And now I'm just going to go put on my jewelry, do my hair, and I will be right back. Styled my hair in this style for the first time and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. Part of me thinks I may be too old to wear my hair like this, but whatever. I've got my super spiky hoop earrings in that actually are a disaster if you're like trying to hug someone or give them kisses, like the 3 kisses on the cheek that the Dutch do, because you basically end up stabbing them. Look is complete. I'm wearing my jewelry. I've got some Rogan Wolf rings here, some Shop Dixie. I can't remember where this is from. It's a 3D printed crow skull that I was gifted by a friend at Castlefest, but I can't remember the specific shop it was from. And yeah, this is the completed look. This is my spring Brightwing inspired makeup look. I have to keep this short because if I stop talking for any amount of time, you're going to be able to hear the god-awful noise coming from next door. It's literally like the apartment buildings across the street or something. I don't know who decided to take it upon themselves to play the worst music in the existence of music, but seriously. Don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed the makeup. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of my makeup. Comment on my Instagram if there is a look that you would like me to film a video of. Possible that the video already exists, so we shall see. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely day. Please take care of yourself. Remember to drink water, take some time to get fresh air, even if it's just sticking your head out the window to yell at noisy neighbors. Please be safe, practice proper hygiene, listen to the government, at least on this matter, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye bye!